Maggie is madly in love with Nina, and Nina hasn't really noticed Maggie, but I'm afraid Crowley and Aziraphale are going to get involved in trying to help them, which is going to cause disasters on unimaginable scales.
We help Aziraphale to come to a point where he does a thing a very Neil Gaiman-y thing, where this halo comes out of his forehead, which is incredible idea, but inadvertently probably starts a bit of a war between heaven and hell. Oops. And of course, Nina and Maggie are part of that. Again.
If there's a perfect example of genre jumping in Neil Gaiman and my world, it is the fight between the demons and the Regency Ball. So the Regency Ball is happening inside the shop, and Aziraphale is trying to make Maggie and Nina fall in love with each other through dancing. And meanwhile, there's 70 demons outside, led by Miranda Richardson, whose job is to attack and destroy the bookshop and find somebody who they think is hiding inside the shop and take him or her off to hell.
So what we got here is a specially prepared section of set, which we put in the day before. And what this means is to be completely safe, because there's so many people here, we've redressed this with plastic glass, sort of a polycarbonate, and then the middle section is made out of balsa wood, which is like a very soft wood. We've made it into this section for this particular moment as the demons smash through.
The techniques that I used were simply to travel with each character within their genre and just try and hold on to how it looked and how it felt like within that genre on each shot. So you'll go from a full-on George A. Romero Demons in Fog shot outside the bookshop to a full-on Sense and Sensibility Jane Austen ball happening inside. And what I love about that is that when they meet, there's going to be really big trouble.
It is Maggie who has the idea to then just absolutely give them a torrent of fire extinguishers in their faces, knock them back into the circle.
There's even more fire extinguishers up here.
So we suddenly get to be in this huge action movie, and it got quite overwhelming in there with, there's obviously all the crew, and then there's thousands of demons pouring in, and then there's the smoke.
And they're fighting demons with fire extinguishers and eventually books, because it's a bookshop. So why wouldn't you throw books against the demons? Which causes Aziraphale a lot of pain, of course.
It's quite scary when they're all backlit and there's just this weird fog rolling around that looks like it's sort of got a mind of its own.
Yeah.
And their silhouettes and it's quite intimidating.
In the first season, we established that Aziraphale is able to sort of open this portal. And the portal is pretty dangerous to everyone. It could even be dangerous to Aziraphale. And he uses that to his advantage when the demons are coming in.
So we had lots of demons on a crane, standing on a crane and going up into heaven, and lots of lighting effects, and us going, ooh, ah. And Gabriel as Jim, finding it hilarious as a sort of fireworks display.
Within the shop, when we've got the demons flying, that sort of came from season 1. People remember that Aziraphale flew up to heaven at one point through the portal. And this time he uses the portal as a sort of way to destroy the demons. So they basically step onto it because they're all a bit thick demons. You can't really imagine a clever demon, can you? They're all a bit daft. So they walk onto this thing and get flung up. And what we had built was a couple of platforms, and we used one of them for this, where we can actually make them physically rise up. So I got Danny and his team to build a platform that basically people could just stand on it, and there's a sort of pole that they're strapped into around their waists, and we can make them fly.
We call it the levitation rig. So what it is, imagine a seesaw that you get in a park. We've basically made it, and we put a counterbalance, and we put somebody on it, and what it does is it just basically gives the impression that they're flying upwards without actually using any wires. So it just means it gives them more of a natural flight upwards rather than being suspended on cables, basically.
Crowley saves us and it's all fine because it turns out he's really nice. But I think it's just brilliant to see all of these worlds colliding and how they're gonna fix the situation. And of course, really, it's just fixed with love, isn't it? Because that's how everything gets fixed.
Love like yours will surely come my way. Hey.